Hello everyone, welcome to
Hi.
Dear Love Talk. I'm James.
I'm Helena, and we are going to answer some questions today. And if you'd like to send your questions, it couldn't be easier. All you need to do is to email us on questions@lovetalkshow.tv or via Facebook, right?
That's right. We can't answer questions on how the financial climate will be next year or if there's going to be a tube strike or not, but we do answer questions on all things to do with your relationships. So let's go for the first one. It says, when I first got married, our sexual intimacy was really good. But for the past few months, I feel my husband pull away and we are rarely intimate. I feel very insecure and started to think there is something wrong with my body and he doesn't feel attracted to me anymore. Could I be doing something wrong? Well, I think I'm very qualified to answer this question because I'm a man. And let me just tell you something. We don't have...
I also have something to say.
Yeah, we don't have your name. We didn't send your name. But let me just say something. A man only loses interest in intimacy, in sex, when there is some kind of problem on his mind that he is not coping well with. And usually men tend to want to bear the weight of the shoulders of the world on their own shoulders. They don't share their problems with anybody. It might be that he's going through something that you don't know what it is. There may be a problem at work. It may be something that he feels pressured right now that he hasn't shared with you. And because of that, not that he doesn't find you attractive, because of this, perhaps he doesn't feel that desire to be intimate with you. So let me just say now, there isn't anything wrong with your body. Don't think that. And, you know, a lot of women, Lena, think that, oh, I'm married and my man doesn't find me attractive anymore or sexy anymore. You know, if your husband found you attractive when he married you, he finds you attractive now. There's no doubt about that. There's a 99% chance that there's something that's on his mind that he hasn't shared with you. Now, the solution to this is to try to get him to open up. Not force him to open up, because men are like clams. You know, clams.
Explain that a little bit more, please.
Men are like clams. You know, the clam closes up in this shell, and the more you force it to open, the more it closes up. So the more you try to dig up why, you see, you didn't know that a man is like a clam. The more you try to force this clam to open, the less he does. So do try to not be forceful about it, but ask him if there's something on his mind, if he'd like to talk about it. If he says no, don't worry. Ask again in a couple of days. Eventually he will if you don't try to force the issue. But I am almost absolutely sure there's nothing wrong with you. It's nothing that you have done wrong, perhaps, but there is something on his mind that is making him unable to open up to you. I've already spoken a lot. Your turn.
Right, or maybe he's just, I don't know how you are as a wife. Maybe you are too clingy. I don't know, that also puts a man off, from what I know. And it could also be that you got married, you went on your honeymoon, and it's different, but real life kicks in when you come back from your honeymoon, right? If you didn't know, now you know. What does that mean? You are not in your room the whole day. You've got to work, you've got to clean your house, you've got to, do the laundry, and so many more things. And if you have children, you have that routine every day.
It's not easy.
So maybe he's adjusting. He's adjusting to his routine and having to give you all the attention that you perhaps are complaining. Maybe you are being very vocal about it. Maybe you are not just thinking to yourself, but you're already complaining. Yeah. So maybe it's a bit too much for him.
And we don't know how long they've been married, right? And so there is a chance that there is this thing that you could be too clingy and so on. But from experience of helping other men, and even from my own personal experience, because I tell you, I'm going to be very open with you. There's nothing for me to hide here. If there is something...
Let's hear it.
If there is something that's on my mind, really troubling me, the last thing on my mind is sex, is intimacy, because there is something really that's bothering me. And men have this ability to completely shut down.
Because they have this sense of, it's all on my shoulders. I need to provide for this family. I need to protect my woman. That's what I see. I don't know
and he feels He feels if he's not doing that, he feels like a failure. And if a man feels like a failure, he's not going to want to be intimate. You know, so there's a problem there. I would advise you to try to find out why he feels like that and try to help him.
You could also be, sorry, I know this is taking long, but maybe you said something. Maybe you said something about his body, even as a joke. Some men are sensitive, you have to agree with me. Maybe you said something about, I don't know, his legs or anything that made him very, I don't know.
Self-conscious?
Maybe not, but this is also a reason why. And of course, also look after yourself. Don't let yourself go, because I don't know you.
But if that's the case, that you may have said something, then again, that is what is going to be on his mind. The secret is try to help him to talk about what's on his mind. Next question.
It says, it's from Love Talk Live attendee, from our seminars on Saturdays. It says, hi guys, I'm a single woman in the early 30s. Since you deal with singles all the time, could you help me find someone?
I left this question deliberately for Elena.
Did you? Why?
Yeah. Because I wanted to see what you were going to say. I know what I think about this.
It's like this. If you behave the right way, if you, towards yourself first, if you attend the seminars, you know what I'm talking about. We invest in you. We always tell the people who attend the seminars how they should be confident, how they should not be, looking for someone to make them your God. You need to be someone who loves yourself, who is a happy person first. Then you will attract someone. There's no way that if you are this kind of person who is confident, secure of themselves, who is polite, who is, for example, you are a girl, right? Yeah, you are a girl. So the way you behave, you're not so intimidating or masculine. Like, for example, let's say that you have a career. Don't show that you are so successful, so much like, every time you go on a date, oh, I've got this degree. And what about you? Oh, I have nothing. Because maybe that person, the way they were brought up was different from yours. So maybe they couldn't afford going to uni. So we teach a lot of things that if you follow them, I know what you wanted me to say as well. You will be successful. But also we have our singles hours, a single hour. So it's
once
another
a month,
opportunity.
we have the singles hour. But what I wanted to say to you is that, I think nowadays one of the safest way of meeting someone is to have a mutual friend that introduces you and gets you talking to that person. But I think it's important not to forget that the responsibility to find someone is yours. Like, I had a responsibility to find Elena because I wanted to be happy. I think it's it's easy to put that responsibility onto someone to say, listen, go ahead and find someone for me. But that's not the answer. You can have a friend, someone that cares about you, that looks out for your best interest, that says, listen, I have this suggestion, this person, I think you guys would really match. And this is one of the best ways of meeting someone. Actually, it has to be said, that's how Elena and I met. We had a mutual friend who said, listen, I think you guys really have...
It's the old-fashioned way, really.
Yeah, exactly. But what is not good is that you say, listen, Elena, find me someone and I'll come back in a year. You tell me how many people you found for me.
We are not a dating agency, but we give you the tools. We give you the tools that we used when we were single, things that we learned, because I used to attend the seminar myself many years ago. So if you follow everything we teach you, there's no way you will not be successful.
Yeah. And don't put the responsibility of finding someone for you on someone else. Get a friend who cares. You can say, look, do you know anyone you can introduce me to? Yeah, that can work.
Yes.
But don't make that person the sole responsible person to find someone for you.
And something I wanted to say as well is this. When you are single looking for someone, don't be afraid to let your cousins, your uncles or whoever know that you are looking for someone. Because maybe they are somewhere else in another country or in another city and they know someone that they could very well think, oh, that person really would, get really...
they have a lot in common.
Yes, with so-and-so. So you never know. Don't
Absolutely.
be afraid.
Final question. This is from our blog. Someone said, I'm on the verge of marrying someone I really care about. And although we agree on most things about our future, we have something we can't see eye to eye. My partner really wants to have children in the future, but I've never wanted to have children. This is something we have decided to deal with later in our relationship. Do you think we are making a mistake in doing this?
Yes.
End of the program. Just joking. You are making a big mistake because look, there's a few things
it's a deal breaker.
Yeah,
it's a deal breaker.
There's a few things if you don't agree on, it's okay, right? If you say, listen, when we get married, I want Wednesday evenings to be noodle night. I'm saying this because Wednesday evening is my noodle night. Wednesday evening, without fail, it has to be noodles for dinner. I don't know. It's this thing we have acquired. Now, you guys can't agree on whether Wednesday is going to be noodle night or if it's going to be pizza night. It doesn't really matter, right? You can do pizza one night and noodle another night. Now, a big deal is children. I mean, that's a huge, huge deal. Do not take the step of marrying someone if you haven't agreed on that, because
call it off.
This is you either call it off or then you agree on this prior to getting married.
But if they haven't agreed to that already, while they were dating and they're already, ready to get married, I assume that you've been dating for over a year at least. If you haven't agreed on having children for that period of time, it's not now that they will. So don't save it for later. You're making a big mistake, and it's not fair if he wants to have and you just say to him, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not giving you children." Yeah. It's not fair.
That's what I was going to say. You can't grudgingly make the person agree to give up that dream of having children or not having children.
It's not fair.
Because the person will resent you in the future.
And even if you decide to have children, it's going to be like many that we also talk to many times who say, you know what, I hate myself, now I am like this, my body changed, and it's all because of these kids. And then the kids pick up on that negative feeling, that negative emotion that you have, and that, I'm like this because of you. I knew someone like that who had a big grudge against her mother because she didn't want to have children, but she had her, and then they never got along. And it's not fair just because you wanted to be with that person. It's not fair.
And remember, you will have people who want to have children, some don't want to have children, others want to adopt. It's your prerogative, it's your right. It's your decision. What you cannot do is you can't force that person to jump on board of your ship, of what you've decided to do. So if you haven't agreed on that and you're about to get married, I think you're going to have really serious problems unless you deal with this now. And if you can't see eye to eye, if you can't reach an agreement, I'm really sorry to say this to you, but it's better for you to go through a difficult moment now because the relationship didn't work
than a
lifetime of problems, because this will become a big problem in the future.
Yeah.
Okay? That's all we have time for. We were really honest, really straightforward. I want to apologize for it. Forgive us if you, I said we want to apologize for it, but I just said forgive us. So let's put forgiveness to one side. This is the reality of relationships today. Absolutely. You have to be sincere, you have to be honest.
Yes.
Okay, if you want to get in touch, you can send us your questions.
If you write to us on questions@lovetalkshow.tv or also through our Facebook page, Love Talk Show. And please remember to subscribe to these videos as well and leave your comments.
Absolutely. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.